Avenues for Justice Intuitive to Incarcerated Program for New York City Youth.
The Summer Youth Employment Program, where I gave them summer jobs.
Last note 21, Mankai Woodard Collins, who was here, was killed by a gunshot on the street of Harlem. This film is dedicated to him.
I was asleep, to be honest. I got woken up out of my sleep with that phone call. I came back from vacation Saturday morning. One of our cousins had a baby shower Sunday night. Monday morning, 5 a.m., I'm getting that phone call. Sis, I don't know. We was fighting, and then somebody started shooting. I walked away, and then he was just laying there. It's literally word for word what I just said. It was what I was told.
Yeah, he was murdered. Shot him in his head. To this day, we don't know why. He wasn't a violent guy. Like I said, he was cool. But yeah, it was crushing, to be honest with you. I've lost a lot of friends, a lot of family members. I'm not somebody that's not used to death. I've seen a lot of death. But sometimes there's some people in some situations that hit different. And that one hit different. Because he had just really got a bunch of things in his life going in the right direction. And just for no real reason, it was just over for him.
So would you mind sharing what makes you want to stop gun violence?
People need to be safe. More than anything else, people need to be safe. But homicide and gun violence in this country is overwhelmingly concentrated in communities of color. The fact is, the opportunities for self-protection with a handgun, not just for those young men, but for anybody, are almost entirely zero. So, the only way that gun would ever be of use is knowing that one was at risk and actually had the opportunity to use the gun for self-protection. And 99.99 out of 100 times, that's just not the way the world works.
Gun violence is a thing where it's killing each other, no matter what color we are. I picked up guns when I was like 13 years old. So I know all about guns. Nobody can tell me about guns. I didn't deal with all different kind of guns. What happens is, we get into these things with different people and it becomes a gang. So it's called peer pressure. So one guy might say, well, listen, you ain't bust your gun yet, time for you to bust your gun. So now there's the peer pressure. So now you got to go out there and you got to commit a crime. I went to jail when I was 25. Yeah, 25, 26.
That was your first time being in.
Yeah.
What you did?
I got murdered in the 2nd degree. When the judge told me that I had 25 to life and I deserved every bit of it, I almost fell right there. Because I had my mother sitting in the courtroom. So I was more concerned about her, and I just had some twins. They was 3 months. So I felt for my baby moms. So all emotions were just going crazy because right now I'm leaving my moms. I'm leaving this woman here with these 2 babies, and I had 2 more kids that was there, 6 and 4, and she's raising 3-month-old twins. It was crazy. I done been in some of the worst neighborhoods. I don't carry no gun. I'm done with guns. Believe me, they made me a believer. And right now the system is even worse than when I was coming through. It's not worth it. Believe me, little brothers, it's not worth it. I'm telling you. Learn how to fight, that's a whole different game. Carrying a gun, it's not cool. It's not cool. You're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna hurt somebody, and then in the long run, like I keep saying, all you guys got mothers, right? Every last one of you, right? You wanna hurt your mother? Come on, man, we gotta think about our moms, man. So when they came to pick me up, they came to pick me up from a facility called Easton. It's in Nappaneck, New York. So my mother came, my youngest daughter came, and my baby moms came. And I broke down when I seen my mother because she's been through hell. And she held me down the whole 25 years that I've been incarcerated. So there's not enough money in the world that I can give her for the lost time that she lost her son. So when I seen I broke down, she broke down. They brought us to the car. Officers came out to make sure we was all right. I was all right, she was all right. And I just told her, I sat there and I apologized to her that I put her through this. And I told my youngest daughter the same thing. You know, I wasn't there where I was supposed to be at. So I can't make up for the lost time, but now that I'm here with you.
It's not right to have a gun. I mean, some people use it for self-defense and stuff, but like, at the same time, it's not safe like carrying or going outside. You might get arrested and stuff, and they're gonna see it when you're gonna get charged for that. And if the gun don't have like papers and stuff, you might get time. So
I think the same too, because, you know, in the neighborhood it's not safe. Like, you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah, my cousin got shot in his head with a shotgun and he survived. He was little too, he was young.
You have a couple, kid in the house, they happen to have a gun, and I'm just saying, have a gun for safety because they don't feel safe at home, okay? Someone breaks through the door and the person uses the gun, okay? What happens now? And I'm talking about, let's say you don't have a license, all right, but you have a gun in the house, okay? What happens now? Your life is done. One, because you had no license. Actually, that's the important part. Two, was you justifiable about using the gun, right? Just because somebody breaks into your house doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna shoot the person, but people under the impression that, hey, they came into my house, I'm shooting them. It doesn't go that way. There's a lot of justifiable causes that you gotta show in order for you to use a firearm or have a firearm. You know, listen, firearms get you nowhere. They get you 6 feet under, okay? Once they get you 6 feet under, it messes up your family, it messes up whoever you with, because that's a never forgotten story. I don't care what anybody says, okay? I've been to places where people have been shot, and what people don't see is the family member that want to know what happened to that person is on the floor. That's the part that they'll never understand, okay? And I've always said this, once somebody is shot and you go to the funeral home, look at the funeral home and see who's suffering over a gun. The family member. Family member praying, your little brother, your little sister, not trying to understand what happened, only because of gun. I'm not saying don't be a chump, don't get me wrong, okay? I know when I grew up and I had a problem, we took care of it ourselves, right? Not no more. It's not like that here anymore. And you guys know, if you're walking with a girl, they look at your girl, you start saying something, and what happens? The knives come out or the guns come out. If you had a moment to think, would I use that gun and knife? That's what's going to make the difference, and that's what's going to give you the end piece to whatever happens.
A gun is a violent felony, okay? Just because it's a gun that can kill somebody. So whenever you're arrested with a gun, it's immediately a violent felony. Different than if I rob you and I don't have a gun, it's not a violent robbery. It's just a rob two. But when you have a weapon, it's a rob one. And that rob one is worth a lot of state prison time.
When I see children out here now getting killed, I go to every visual. I go to the court with the families. I don't care if I don't know them. You're my son, you're my son, you're my son, you're my son, you're my son. You're my son. Y'all outside in the street and you say, your son. So guess what? You're my sons. When they said that you can get your gun at 18, and then now they're saying at 21, I feel that they shouldn't get them at all. So they just need to take them off the street, period. Which they're not, because it's still coming. Every time we turn around, there's someone either being shot, getting shot, being stabbed, being raped, domestic violence, killing themselves. When is it gonna stop?
So as soon as I see the gun, I start booking it. He lets out the first shot, I'm still in momentum. He lets out the second shot, I finally get to him. It's on the third shot that it hit me in the chest that I started thinking about fleeing, right? Fight, flight, freeze. So I turn around to grab the door, he hits me in the back. I run up the stairs to the 5th floor. He catches me one more time before I get the curve, and I make it up to the 5th floor. My mind and my body's initial response to the shooting was anger. And I really wanted revenge, and I really wanted to do to him what he did to me. But I didn't understand the full extent of what he did to me, or what he did to us. Because he went away for 15 years with a newborn daughter, and I ended up in the hospital in a coma, shot 5 times in the chest and stomach. So we both impacted each other's lives in a way in which we could never understand.
I learned that people believe that younger kids, 18 or under, shouldn't be carrying guns. I believe they're right. But I also believe that there might be moments in life, very dangerous moments in which you might need a gun.
And I learned that not everybody should have gun. I mean, nobody should never have gun because it's not safe. You know, you never know when you're gonna use that, and it's a lot going on. Like the killing is crazy.
In New York, I don't think anywhere is safe.
Facts.
Yeah, like things can happen anywhere. So,
My brother was shot and killed. He was shot in the head in 2015. It was horrific. Like, even to this day, it's very hard, like, to talk about it, or because he wasn't in a gang or doing anything wrong. It's just that people wanted what he had. I plan on getting a license to carry a gun, yeah, because I just feel like I plan on getting a house, and in my house I would like to have it because just in this day and age, the way things are happening, I feel like if my life is in danger, my children, I wouldn't hesitate. I don't think so.
My mom, God rest her soul, my mom is looking super shaky. Like, I'm like, Ma, what's up? She's like, which way you came from? I said, I came from up Crescent. She was like, so you saw? I was like, yeah, something happened over there. And she was like, you saw who it was? I'm like, yeah, I don't know something. Like, yes, I said, some nigga, I don't know him, right? So she was like, Brian, that's Nate. To this day, probably the most shocking thing in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? This is like my really, really good friend.
I don't like problems, you feel me? And I like from the video we watched the last time, the guy who did 25 to life, like he really motivated me, you feel me? Like, yeah, he's the reason why I don't want to have a gun. I don't want to carry a gun outside and all that, you know. Be a good person.
I learned to stay out of trouble. Because people, they go to jail and they regret what they did. Yeah, I don't want to be like that. A lot of people know how to get guns without going to a store and buying it and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And you think it's easier for a person to use it if they have it on them?
Yeah. Because some people, like their friends, like push them to use the gun. They be telling them like you have a gun and you never use it, so that makes them want to use it.
From my perspective, from working on cases and seeing kids' lives destroyed from the crime of having a gun possession is not like there are other ways to be safe, and I think those ways are probably more effective, and I think it's actually probably more harmful to them to have a gun.
If you was outside with your mother in the supermarket, somebody just came in all of a sudden with a gun in their hands, aiming at your mother's head, and you had a gun in your pocket, would you use it?
Yeah.
You shoot them in their head or their legs?
I don't know.
Wouldn't you call the cops first?
Fuck am I calling the cops for?
They're gonna be too late, right?
It's not even about it being slight. It's just like y'all talking about gun violence, but then y'all just talking about us as a community. Y'all not talking about the cops. Because as of right now, I don't really see them as as a part of our community. They not doing nothing to show that they a part of our community to even help us. What are y'all doing for us? And then it's not even about doing for us. It's about how y'all showing us that we can trust y'all in the process. They are like, I feel like the cops, they are a part of the reason why gun violence are the way it is. Because they don't even show gun control. I just saw a cop walking down. Why is your taser all the way in the back, but then your gun's all the way on the side? Shouldn't you pull out a taser instead of your gun first? So, of course, I'm going to shoot them, especially if the person right in front of me and I got a gun in my pocket. You just shot my mom. What's wrong with you? So I'm definitely going to shoot you right back. I ain't calling no cops because what they going to do? They going to come and shoot me.
One of our centers in Harlem, 2 blocks away, a 14-year-old was shot in the head, and a 15-year-old was seriously wounded. It hurts my heart to see this because our future is getting damaged. I've had guns pointed at me a couple times, and I've had family members shot.
What advice would you have for us teenagers, so we don't get affected by gun violence or end up killed in the street?
There's going to be disagreements. I understand that. I'm not naive to that. But using guns is a final solution. Somebody's going to get hurt or killed. Why not learn how to do conflict resolution? Why not talk about it? This is the only way that we can help ourselves or our future. I think each and everyone on this team has something of value to bring to society. It would be unfortunate that you get cut down at a very young age over foolishness. So my thing is you don't have to use a gun, and think before doing anything.